When a person is frightened, this center starts breathing fast, giving rhythmic instructions to all the antibodies. With that, you feel you are getting a palpitation in the heart. This palpitation is nothing but a signal to all the antibodies to fight the emergency of an attack. But when somebody builds up insecurity later on in life, it becomes a physical problem. If they have insecurities earlier, it is an emotional problem. But later on in life, when one develops a insecurity, any kind, like a wife is insecure about her husband. Husband is a loafer or a bad man and carrying on with other women. So that motherhood of the wife is challenged. And when her motherhood is challenged, she may get the weakening of the center, by which she may suffer quite a lot and may have even breast cancer. These insecurities can be also self-made. Imagine, people can just think about it and build up some sort of insecurities, which are of no actual existence. But such fears are very much more in the West, because the life in the West has no mooring, has no explanation. Whatever you ask them, they'll say, "What's wrong?" A husband will say, "What's wrong in having a key?" And the wife will also say, "All right, if he wants to have a key, let him have it." In India, no woman would tolerate such a situation. She would starve, she would do everything, but she will never touch a man who has a key. So the basis of the strength of Indian women is their sense of chastity. The sense of chastity in the Indian women is so great that nothing can deter them as long as they are chaste. But if they are not chaste, then fear settles in them very fast. Chastity is the strength of women. And that's why those women who have fear mostly have a problem of their chastity being challenged. A woman who is frightened that her chastity may be disturbed also can develop a problem with the heart chakra. Such women can develop breast cancers, breathing troubles, and other kind of frightening diseases on the emotional level also. But after some time, such a woman comes back again and she accepts the life as it is for the sake of her husband, or maybe if she has more relations or other children. She becomes extremely powerful as a reaction to what has happened. That's only possible if your center of heart is alright. Such women do not grudge, do not complain, are extremely serene and can bear up lots of things. They are extremely tolerant and can go to any extent to help their children. But they are never spoiling their children. They never spoil their children because they understand spoiling is much worse than beating the child. They never spoil the children nor ever pamper them and never get dominated by their children. They know I have to guide the child, and I have to look after the child. So they look after all the ideals and righteousness and the virtues of the child. And if he tries to get out of it, they go all out to win him over, back to virtue and to better life. But those people, those women who do not care for actual growth of the child may just avoid it in this case. In the men, this chakra is caught up if they have lost their mother very early, or if their mother by chance is a very cruel woman. Also, this chakra can be caught up by men if they have been to wars and if they have seen frightful things in the war. Such people could be extremely emotional and could be easily befooled by people who try to win over their emotions. This heart center is caught up by various emotional problems in human beings. Husband and wife, if they all the time quarrel, there's always quarreling in the house. Especially if the mother is very dominating, the child develops this center. And if the father is very dominating, the child develops the heart itself. So it is very important that husband and wife should never quarrel in the presence of their child. Center heart can be developed in countries where there's all fear, people are frightened. It can be developed by other things by which people are frightened. Reading books of bad gurus and reading the books about shocking things, like many people who read the Kundalini book have got center heart because they are so frightened about the Kundalini. Anything that frightens you if you read can make your heart very, very weak and dangerous. So the right side of every human being represents the fatherhood. The fatherhood. And the fatherhood of a man is very important. If this center is spoiled or if there's something wrong with it, then you get asthma as a disease. Asthma is only caused by this center being spoiled or some other combinations with this center. Asthma is very common among girls and boys, and the relationship with the father or the understanding of the father or your own fatherhood is not alright, you get this trouble of asthma, and for that one has to ask the questions to the sadhakas what sort of a father you have. And one gentleman came and asked me, why everybody is asking me what sort of a father you have, what sort of a, everybody asks me, what about your father, what about your father, what has my father to do with me? Actually, everybody feels the right heart and they have to ask about the father, because father resides in the right heart, and the principle of fatherhood, if it is spoiled, if there is a problem with the principle of fatherhood, then you get this problem and many other problems, which I do not want to discuss now at length. But you can understand a person who has no father, how diffident he is and how he behaves. And also such people, those who have not known a father, can become very wayward, licentious or permissive, or could be very much secretly licentious. The people who lose their father do not have that they lack in that discipline that the father gives. Or could be such people who take to a very remorse and unhappy life, or they could be very hard on their children, or could be extremely kind and spoil the children. It could be anything. So it has both the reactions, either too much of love giving or too much of strictness. It can be anything, or a person could be of this kind, may be very strict in childhood and could be extremely lavish in old age. This is the right heart, and the left heart is the mother, actually your own mother, whosoever it is. That is the motherhood, in the sense that if your mother has been extremely unkind and extremely funny, or your relationship with mother is bad, then know that there's something wrong on the left hand, which is indicated in you. So these 2 points are very important in human beings. If a Sahaja just decides that I have a father and a mother, God Almighty is my father and my mother, then these problems can be easily solved. But in Sahaja Yoga, it is not what you think that works out. It does not. Like in the car, if you sit down and think that I'm going to Connaught Place, you won't move. You have to move your hands. In the same way, in Sahaja Yoga, you have to move your hands, clear your chakras, move them higher, and put them up. It's not what you think is important in Sahaja Yoga. Not at all. You may think that I'm doing very well in Sahaja Yoga, I'm very good, but it's not so. It is what you actually achieve, your ascent is the point. So, as in the car, as I told you, you cannot just sit down and think and do the job. In the same way, you have to run this machine. It is how you manifest it is the point, which very few people understand. Very, very few people understand. It is not just talk, 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 morning till evening. Even when I am talking, now I am opening your heart center. I'm working it. Even I'm talking also, I'm opening. It's working. You will see your heart chakra is open by the time I finish my lecture. It is so because I know how to do it. When I talk, I'm just watching where the chakras are catching, what's happening, and I'm catching all these points and touching it and trying to open it. And that's how it should be. It should not be just a kind of a jabbering that we do sometimes about surgery. The greatest fear human beings have that they think they have done lots of mistakes. And these mistakes are too many and they can never get realization. They'll be doomed, they'll be going to hell. This is not true at all. Nobody is going to go hell if you do not want to. If you want to stop it, you can stop it. The time has come. You are going to be blessed and blessed forever. So may God bless you. Today's lecture I have given you in a way that you should understand the importance of confidence, but not by saying I am confident. Because when you say outwardly, you are actually egoistical. But when you say in your vibrations, then you are confident. May God bless you.